Hey guys, welcome back to the 35th Mill. Today we are here to talk to you about Transformers The Last Night.
Transformers, robots in disguise.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm Phil.
I'm not Phil.
Emmanuel.
I'm Drew.
This is my first review.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
we are so excited to have Emmanuel here.
Yeah.
Some of you may already know that he's been a part of this process from the very beginning. However, unfortunately, due to our collective schedules, he hasn't been available to be with us in a video until now.
But yeah,
So,
I thought Transformers would be my first foray into reviews.
And aren't you glad you
Oh,
picked
I am
Transformers?
so proud.
yeah.
What do we
So
make of that?
Yeah, let's dive into this.
Like every year that Transformers is released, I always go, all right, I'm gonna watch the trailer, but I'm not gonna watch the film. And then I watch the trailer, and then I'm like, yeah, all right, maybe I'll
You'll
watch
do
it.
it.
There's always a hook. This year's hook was Anthony Hopkins. And after what
a good hook.
what was the series that he did? Actually, I can't remember.
Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld. After Westworld, I was like, all right, yeah, that's a good casting. But I sort of expected them to move more serious because Hopkins is like a serious
Yeah,
actor
exactly.
normally. But this time, nothing happened. It was like I don't know,
This time nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
as usual, another disappointment.
So guys, it's been 10 years since the first Transformers movie has hit. In that time, we've now got 5 movies, and I don't even know what to say truly about this, except the most bold point I can make is that it was better than the last one.
Yeah, but that's not saying much.
No.
This film very much, I guess, it tried to do too many things. It tried to be
Way
a
too
comedy. It did quite well at being a comedy. I thought it was quite funny. It tried to tell a really in-depth and serious story and failed miserably at doing that.
Ooh, yeah.
Its pacing was horrible.
What pacing?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
What pacing?
Again, I've been describing it to you guys as feeling like it was a long story told in a long time that felt like it had to speed itself up at every single scene. It just kept skipping over what I thought would be nice flow or a nice story pacing into being just a fast-paced mess. They did quite well with, I guess, visual scenes with spectacular car chases and things, but it was so wasted on such a crap story.
It felt like it was written by children, kind of. It felt like one of those stories that you'd hear a child say, where it's kind of like they go, oh, I went to this place, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps getting more spectacular, but the thing is, there's no connecting thing between
Yeah.
them. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, and then a robot flew across the sky, and then they were playing polo, and then
And then,
There were-
we better go back to
underwater?
that character that we talked about 20 minutes ago. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Transformers films, well, I guess you all know that they've had a few troubles in the last few years trying to get the story right, because apparently there's a story. And
Somewhere.
to that end, this film had 4 different writers,
yeah.
and not one of them could tell a cohesive story.
Normally
one
in
found
a
one.
normally in a good film, you have a director who also writes his film, so he's involved in the whole process of
Or
the
a
thing.
director who is in sync with his writer.
Yeah, like David Fincher doesn't write his films.
No.
Brilliant director.
Excellent director. Now, we're not necessarily bashing on Michael Bay because we're in a bit of a disagreement about this. I personally don't blame Michael Bay for the finished product.
I kind of blame him for a bit.
I blame him for a little bit, but not overall, because I think what it came down to was poor writing, really poor writing. But man, I feel like we watched 2 different movies. The first hour was one movie that was just a very long, unnecessary prologue that introduced characters that we then never heard from again for the rest of the movie.
They spent like 15-20 minutes just having to start the build-up thing, and then it sort of changes the narrative, but it's like it's wasted time to me. It's like I need that time back in my life. It's
Yeah.
like then it feels like the movie starts again, and it's
It
like, right, now
does.
this is a movie.
But the other problem with the introduction was that it so there was the intro and then there was the start of the new intro.
Yeah.
And on both counts, it was kind of like, wait, what did I miss something? Did something happen? Wait, what am I missing here? Was I supposed to watch something? It was like Alien. Was I supposed to watch something before I went and saw it at the cinema? I don't know. Because it felt like it. I didn't know what the hell was going on at any point.
The difference is this time they gave us that prologue for an hour. that we didn't need.
But the thing is, like, you could do the prologue, but you can sort of put it in the middle of the film, like interspace it in between
Yeah.
stuff. Like, I know I hate
Yeah.
I hate exposition driven scenes where like someone's telling you what happens in the film, like
Yeah.
but like you could kind of sort of tell what the prologue was trying to do, but you can sort of make the pacing of the film better by sort of sprinkling it throughout the film.
That first hour could have been condensed into 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it would have been lean, it would have been to the point, and we wouldn't have lost focus on what this story was about. Because when it did kick in, the story was interesting. It had a good hook, it had a good MacGuffin, all the elements were there. Even the little intro at the very beginning was fantastic, and it set the stage for what could have been a great movie.
It just really didn't, though.
Yeah.
Again, because of that lack of pacing and organization and structure.
I think they felt like they had to stop in the middle of the film just for big action sequences, and then that's when the story just kept losing track. It was like
Definitely.
the story's building up, and now it's a car chase for
Yeah.
the next 10 minutes, and then when the story starts again, it's like, wait, where were we?
Yeah.
I actually lost the track of the story
Yeah.
a couple of times, where I genuinely to myself asked, like, wait, what's happening? Like,
Yeah.
what are they doing? Like, what's the objective?
But again,
lost
it
momentum.
did the car chases and the visual effects amazingly. It looked so
Yeah, it did.
incredible. But
Yeah, if you guys
But
want a
for
good
what?
visual treat, this movie's got it.
again, I rate this film as probably my favorite in terms of sound effects and mixing of
Yeah.
sounds.
An imagery.
Incredible, and the most visually spectacular film I've seen this year, and that's against Alien, Guardian of the Galaxy. This is incredible, amazing,
knocked it out of the
amazing
park.
film. Yeah. But just let down so much by the writing and the disconnectedness of all the writers, I think.
If you couldn't tell, overall we're pretty angry because there is a lot of good potential in there. I know personally I loved about 40% of this movie, and the rest of it was just a hopeless mess.
I started rolling my eyes midway through.
Yeah.
Also, bonus points if you can find That's What She Said moments throughout the film.
There are at least two that
Yes,
we
there are.
spotted, and we had a good giggle.
Yeah, amazingly.
I think
Good
what
to go.
Transformers needs to do is pick what it wants to be. Like, do you want to be like a smart sci-fi thing, or do you want to be like one of these stupid action films?
Yeah.
This actually works. I enjoy some stupid action films. Or you don't
Yeah,
have to
there's
think.
nothing wrong with it.
The
And that
first
is
Die
funny.
Hard is a stupid action film, but
Yeah.
it's brilliant.
Heck, the first Transformers movie is about a boy and
No,
his
no, no,
car
no, 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 no.
trying to impress the girl.
Yeah, the best.
It's not hard.
One of my favorite Jason Statham films is Crank. Have you seen
Yeah,
Crank?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like this sort of like completely bonkers story, so funny, but it's entertaining. Like it
Yeah,
keeps you
definitely.
hooked and it keeps you engaged. Whereas Transformers, it's funny, and then it tries immediately to hit you emotionally. It's like, oh, now they're all in danger. But you were laughing like a couple of seconds ago, so
Yeah.
it's like it's hard to bring you back down into the other state.
That
of emotion.
annoyed me with this one. It hit a couple of emotional beats where I was like, man, I'm feeling engaged here, but it's wasted.
Yeah.
It just changes tone like rapidly
Yeah.
like that, and you're like,
Ruined
wait, I'm out of it now.
It suffers in some sense because you don't care for the characters either. A bit like Alien. You
Yeah.
don't care for the characters, so the emotional moments are definitely wasted.
I think
Agreed.
there's like two types of characters in this film. The sarcastic kind of like quippy, funny
Yeah.
type of character, which is like most of the people in the
Yeah.
film. And then there's also the sort of scared, oh, I'm so scared of what's happening. Like the black guy who was Mark Wahlberg's
Oh yeah, yeah.
assistant. He was so scared all the time, and he was like, what is this character? What
Yeah.
is
He
he
didn't
adding-
serve any
what
purpose
is he
in the
adding
plot.
to the... Yeah,
He added nothing.
but he was the only sort of alternative character. Everyone else was sort of smart and cool
Yeah.
and smart.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know. It's not engaging.
They did the same in the fourth film, and then that character got killed off in the first 20 minutes for no reason.
Yeah, in the most like hilarious way.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Anyway, to our reviews, if you're not familiar, we have a 2 rating process where we will give an unbiased rating out of 10 for the film, and then we'll give a personal enjoyment rating. So we'll kick it off with you.
Yes, we will. Lucky me getting first again. So, on a personal level, it gets a 5. Now, no. Now, it would have gotten a 4, but I have a man crush on Mark Wahlberg, so that raises up 1 point. It gets a 5 for that point. It would have been a 4. The same frustrating features of Alien, like the bad character development, you don't care about them, the slow then fast pacing of the film brought it down. The only reason why it wasn't even lower than that was because it is, again, I rate it as the most visually spectacular, and the sounds were fantastic. My favorite of the year so far. So it gets a 5 from that level. On a unbiased opinion level, it probably gets, again, and purely because of its phenomenal visuals. Like, they were the most realistic, accurate looking special effects I've seen in a long time, even longer than just this year.
Yeah.
It's a 4 or a 5. It gets nothing for it for any other reason than the visual effects and the audio. That is it. That's all that makes this film worthwhile. It did have some humor, but it was kind of lost on the poor writing. It also lost points because of the fact that it did some car chases well and things like that, but they just had no place. So that's me.
Yeah. Jeez. Look, on an unbiased rating, it's probably sitting at about a 3 or a 4 because visually it was absolutely spectacular. I can't argue. It's the most visually engaging piece that I've seen on the screen this year. Those effects, they can never be rivaled. Doesn't matter what the quality of a Transformers film is, the visuals are stunning. Bay knows how to shoot great visuals. It's a shame he can't marry good story to it. So around a 3 or a 4 for that. As for my personal enjoyment, it's getting a 4 because I think there was about 40 minutes of good movie in there, and for that it gets its 4. That 40 minutes is around the halfway mark so the film heads to London for a little while, and the whole London sequence is absolutely brilliant. That is one of my favorite moments from any Transformers movie, and for that the film earns its 4 and nothing more than that.
Right, so on my personal enjoyment scale, I actually found it a bit funny at certain points. Like, it got me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, some of those quips, like, it was well timed and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I'd probably give it a 5 as well, same as Phil. Reason it gets a 5 is obviously some parts of the movie make me really, really angry and really frustrated because the good parts are good, and if the whole film matched the tone of the good parts, it'll be a great film. I actually genuinely think that. But yeah, as it is, it's a mixed bag. It's a mostly bad bag, I'd say, so 5. But technically, I'd say it's a poor sort of rating for me, because I disagree with you when it comes to the director, because he always shoots his films the same way. I think he has the same style of having something in the foreground and then a very dynamic moving camera, and then you have a lot of action happening behind, which is very busy.
No, I
But the
I
thing
agree
is,
with that.
and sometimes that's brilliant, but he never stops. Like, every single scene that I can remember in that film is always moving in some way.
Yeah.
There's no calm, still shots.
There used to be in those films.
There's,
Once upon a time.
There's a movie I really like called Ida, and it has really cool cinematography where the camera's still and characters placed somewhere in the frame, and it actually evokes some emotion out. Like, it makes the scene a lot better. Like, that's good cinematography.
Yeah.
I think the effects and the visually, the film was really good.
Yeah.
Like, everything looks realistic. Like, the CGI and stuff, you can tell when the CGI is there, but it's like, it's workable. It's good. At this point, it's quite well polished. So I'd say it works on visual effects. It works on sound mixing for sure.
Oh, definitely.
But I think the directing's not up to standard.
So
The
what does it
writing's
get?
very bad.
The critical
so
question.
unbiased. Yeah.
I'd say 3. I'd say 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
the people working on it cared about making a film. I think they
They want to
cared
make money
about
for Hasbro.
exactly
Yeah.
for Hasbro, and they wanted to please the studio basically.
I think the studio wanted to please the studio, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and genuinely good films don't get made like
It
like
earned the
that.
score.
Yeah, look, Paramount Pictures, Michael Bay, Steven Spielberg, any of you out there that are part of this production, we have a plan to fix your movies. Come on, send us a message, because we have a plan for Transformers 6. We can get your franchise
6.
back on track.
Yeah.
Come on. We want to help you. We want to show you the type of movie that we, the audience, want to see.
Oh yeah.
Desperately. Come on.
If you have an idea on how to fix this film, don't forget to message us in the comments below, or on our Facebook page at the 35th Mil, or on the website, which I'll leave to you again.
Yeah, the 35thmil.wordpress.com. As usual, the website doesn't do very much right now. We're getting there very slowly. If some people would contribute to the website.
I've got an article to write.
Yeah, no, look, we are busy people as well, so you know we have to have jobs that fund our fun time making these videos, and yeah, we would definitely love to hear from you. So subscribe to the channel, like, share the Facebook page, all of that. You know the drill. Yeah, let us know what you want us to watch as well, because it doesn't have to be new films in the cinema. There could be some old movie that you know that we've never seen.
Yep.
It is entirely possible. There are millions of movies. We want to watch new things, whether they're new or old. So let us know. Even if you have a theme that you want us to run with, we can promise you that coming soon we will be doing a Jeff Goldblum special.
Yes.
Because we love that man, and given his recent trip to Sydney and his new Menulog commercials, we think that there is no better time than to visit a few of his classics.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, until next time.
Yep.
Yep.